In the nearly 45 years since his death, people still can't forget the face of America's new wave, John Wayne, who became iconic for his roles in westerns and war films in the 1920s. As one of the characters with the highest box office revenue in 3 decades, John always makes the audience proud and happy with his victories in his acting career. Nevertheless, beyond the cinematic lens, John Wayne's life harbored numerous undisclosed secrets, giving rise to sinister speculations in the media. To dispel these rumors, John's offspring have courageously stepped forward to unveil the complete truth about their father. Let's watch this video together. Marion Robert Morrison, better known by his iconic stage name John Wayne, was born in Winterset, Iowa in 1907. His early years were marked by a strong bond with his family, particularly his pharmacist father and mother. In 1914, when Wayne was just 7 years old, the Morrisons decided to make the journey westward to California, seeking new opportunities and a fresh start. The young boy found a constant companion in an Airedale dog named Duke. Their inseparable bond led to the monikers Little Duke for the boy and Big Duke for the canine companion, eventually giving birth to the enduring nickname that would become synonymous with the Hollywood legend. During his time at Glendale High School, Wayne demonstrated exceptional talents both on the football field and on the stage. His prowess in football, coupled with his interest in theater, set the stage for what would become a multifaceted career. The nickname Duke stuck, following him from the schoolyards to the big screen. Initially envisioning a future in football, Wayne's skills on the field earned him a scholarship to play for the University of Southern California Trojans. His rise as a star player was accompanied by a laid-back lifestyle typical of a surfer, enjoying leisure time at Newport Beach. However, fate took an unexpected turn in 1926 when a body surfing accident abruptly ended his college pursuits and football aspirations, as reported by the Chicago Tribune. Undeterred by this setback, Wayne pivoted towards a new path. According to John Wayne Heritage, he began working for local movie studios after leaving school. This marked the beginning of a transformative journey into the world of acting, laying the foundation for a career that would make him one of the most enduring and beloved figures in the history of American cinema. After venturing into the realm of film, John Wayne's initial foray into the industry was humble yet pivotal. According to John Wayne Heritage, his first position was at Fox Film, where he toiled as a prop man. This role involved the demanding and often unglamorous task of moving furniture and equipment, providing Wayne with a modest income, but a foothold in the cinematic world. Simultaneously, Wayne seized the opportunity to appear as an extra in various films, commencing in 1926 with an uncredited role as an anonymous Yale football player in Brown of Harvard. Over the next few years, he took on an additional 13 uncredited roles before gaining recognition under his birth name, Duke Morrison, in the 1929 film Words and Music. During this time, Wayne crossed paths with director John Ford, sparking a lifelong friendship that would significantly impact his career. However, it was director Raoul Walsh who played a pivotal role in shaping Wayne's trajectory in Hollywood. In The Big Trail, a film released in 1930, Wayne secured his first substantial role as Breck Coleman, a character leading covered wagons on an overland trail. The auditions for this role were highly competitive, with Wayne reportedly competing against 81 other actors, as reported by the Washington, D.C.'s Evening Star. Notably, the paper acknowledged Wayne's previous football career and identified him as an assistant property boy. It was during this period that the name John Wayne made its debut in print. As recounted by John Wayne, a blog, Raoul Walsh proposed the name Anthony Wayne, but Fox Studios boss Winfield Sheehan found it too Italian-sounding. In a pivotal moment, Sheehan suggested John Wayne, a name that both he and the actor readily agreed to. According to John Wayne Heritage, Wayne was accepting of the change, recognizing that if the individuals paying his salary wanted to enhance his name, he was more than willing to embrace the modification. The paradox of John Wayne, an iconic figure associated with the rugged cowboy persona, disliking horses, is a fascinating aspect of his personal life. Scott Amon, Wayne's biographer, delves into this surprising detail in his book, John Wayne, The Life and Legend. According to Amon, Wayne's aversion to horses was so pronounced that his own son, Michael Wayne, had to learn to ride from stuntmen rather than receive guidance from his father. This revelation challenges the conventional image of the Duke spending much of his childhood and career atop a horse. Amon's claim gains further support in an interview detailed in The New Frontier, where David Gergen and Gary Wills discuss Wayne's purported dislike for horses. Gergen states, "You say that he hated horses, a man." To which Wills responds, "Hated horses. Never rode except on the set, and never rode when he didn't have to." This contradiction between the cinematic image of Wayne as a fearless horseman and his alleged distaste for these animals adds an intriguing layer to the actor's persona. However, the narrative takes a turn when considering conflicting accounts. John Wayne's son, Patrick, offered a different perspective to author Tony Medley. Patrick claimed that his father was, in fact, a terrific horseman. He recounted an incident during the filming of Big Jake in 1971 when he observed his equestrian-savvy father maintaining control of his horse even after it spooked during a chase scene. This contradicts the notion that Wayne avoided riding unless absolutely necessary. Furthermore, Patrick shared a personal anecdote from the filming of The Comancheros, where his father took notice of his less-than-stellar horseback riding skills during a scene. In response, John Wayne intervened, telling his son, "You're going to learn how to ride a horse." He ensured that Patrick received additional lessons, resulting in a notable improvement in his riding abilities. The contrast between John Wayne's on-screen persona and his personal life adds a layer of complexity to the Hollywood legend. While the Duke projected an image of a tough, rugged, and handsome man on screen, off-camera, he was described as somewhat reserved and even awkward, particularly in his interactions with women, as noted by the Fashion Ball. Despite his purported discomfort with the opposite sex, Wayne's romantic life was far from uneventful. According to critic Emmanuel Levy, Wayne claimed that he never chased women, and screenwriter James Grant mentioned that pushy dames really scare him. Yet, the Duke found himself married 3 times, and from these unions he fathered a total of 7 children. His first marriage was to Josephine Syens in 1933. The couple had 4 children together, Michael, Tony, Patrick, and Melinda, before their marriage came to an end in 1943. Newt's John Wayne site suggests that Wayne's starring role and alleged affair with Marlene Dietrich during the filming of movies like Seven Sinners, 1940, The Spoilers, and Pittsburgh, both in 1942, may have played a role in the dissolution of his first marriage. Most biographers attribute the affair to Dietrich, who supposedly expressed her desire for Wayne to her agent, leading to a contracted relationship and a 3-year affair. Following his tumultuous first marriage, Wayne entered into a second union with Esperanza Chata Bauer Diaz. This marriage was marked by jealousy, Wayne's rumored affair with actress Gail Russell, and reportedly frequent drunken fights, according to Emmanuel Levy. The couple divorced in 1954. Wayne's third and final marriage was to actress Pilar Palet. The marriage produced 3 more children, Isa, John, and Marissa, before ultimately ending in divorce in 1973. Despite the challenges in his marriages, Wayne remained single after his third divorce. In his later years, he shared his life with his secretary, Pat Stacy. The period between 1940 and 1945 saw John Wayne immersed in a string of war-themed films, reflecting the tumultuous global context of World War II. According to the Internet Movie Database, he appeared in 7 war-related movies during this time, including Dark Command, The Long Voyage Home, Flying Tigers, The Fighting Seabees, Back to Bataan, Reunion in France, and They Were Expendable. The question naturally arises, how did Wayne manage to film these movies while World War II was raging? As noted by Den of Geek, John Wayne, originally registered for service as Marion Mitchell Morrison, received a 3A deferment for family dependency. As the sole provider for his family and a devoted father, Wayne chose to defer his military service to continue working in Hollywood. He expressed a desire to do a few more movies before potentially entering the service. Additionally, keeping his name fresh in the highly competitive film industry likely played a role in his decision. While Wayne anticipated serving in the war eventually, he never ended up participating in World War II. In 1942, Congress revised the Selective Service Act, deferring all married men until further notice, as reported by World War 2.0. This decision reflected a belief that preserving the family unit was essential to maintaining an organized society. Dependency deferments, as highlighted by Encyclopedia.com, garnered significant support during this time. Despite this legislative support, Wayne's immunity from military service reportedly irked his friend and frequent collaborator, director John Ford. According to Magellan Times, during the filming of They Were Expendable in 1945, Ford, known for his military background and commitment to authenticity, confronted Wayne about his lackluster salute. Allegedly frustrated, Ford exclaimed, "Duke, can't you manage a salute that at least looks like you've been in the service?" In response, Wayne was said to have stormed off the set, highlighting the tension between the two during a period when the war's impact was deeply felt in both the real world and the real world of Hollywood. In 1948, at the age of 41, John Wayne confronted a common concern that many middle-aged men face, the gradual loss of hair. The Vintage News notes that Wayne, noticing the progression of his hair loss, decided to address the issue by donning a toupee in his films. This change became particularly noticeable in his World War II-era movies. Although he occasionally appeared in public without the hairpiece, Wayne, according to the Vintage News, continued to wear a toupee in his film roles. The decision to use a wig did not go unnoticed by the public and the media. Mental Floss recounts an incident where a reporter asked Wayne about his phony hair. In response, Wayne humorously quipped, "It's not phony. It's real hair. Of course, it's not mine, but it's real." Wayne's candid acknowledgement of wearing a toupee showcased his straightforward and unapologetic approach to the cosmetic aspect of his appearance. Despite his openness about wearing a wig, there was one exception. For the film The Wings of Eagles in 1957, Wayne chose not to wear his toupee. This departure from his usual on-screen appearance highlighted the actor's versatility and willingness to adapt his look for specific roles. The toupees worn by John Wayne during his films became valuable items in their own right. In 2010, the BBC reported that the toupee he wore in the 1967 movie El Dorado was put up for auction and fetched $144. Subsequently, in 2013, another custom-made toupee, crafted from human hair and meticulously tied one strand at a time to a lace mesh with silk bands for a realistic scalp appearance, was discovered. The Vintage News reported that this wig, along with its canvas block, sold for $6,250. Despite the financial value of these artifacts, Wayne's willingness to openly discuss and even joke about his use of a toupee demonstrated a level of self-awareness and humor about the realities of aging in the public eye. Additionally, the accidental reveal of his wig during fight scenes in films like The Fighting Kentuckian, 1949, The Quiet Man, 1952, and North to Alaska, 1960, added a light-hearted touch to Wayne's iconic career. The year 1954 found John Wayne on the remote Utah desert set of The Conqueror, a film chronicling the life of Genghis Khan. The Guardian later deemed the role an ill-suited fit for the iconic actor. However, the most significant aspect of the production was not its cinematic merit, but rather its geographical proximity to an atomic bomb testing site in Nevada, a mere 100 miles away. Unbeknownst to the cast and crew, this location would have severe consequences for their health. Despite official assurances that fallout wouldn't reach the filming site, a Geiger counter on the set emitted such loud crackling that Wayne suspected it was malfunctioning. The fallout did indeed reach the area, and everyone on the set, including Wayne, became unwittingly exposed to radiation. This group would later be referred to as downwinders, individuals exposed to radioactive fallout, not only in Utah but also in Arizona and Nevada between 1951 and 1962. Biography confirms that Wayne's first battle with cancer occurred in 1964, leading to the removal of a lung and some ribs. The disease would ultimately claim his life in 1979, specifically from stomach cancer. Tragically, Wayne's sons, who were also present on the set, Michael and Patrick, developed cancer as well, although they managed to survive. By 1981, the Fashion Ball reports that a staggering 91 out of the 220 cast and crew members who participated in the filming of The Conqueror had developed cancer. Among them were prominent figures such as lead actress Susan Hayward and director Dick Powell. The toll on the health of those involved was devastating, with 46 individuals, including Wayne, succumbing to the disease. The long-term health consequences of the radiation exposure from the atomic bomb testing were far-reaching. Notably, the victims of this tragedy would later witness the establishment of the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act of 1990. This legislation provides compensation ranging from $50,000 to $100,000 to individuals affected by government-caused radiation exposure. However, claimants must furnish proof of their exposure and its connection to government activities. John Wayne's political connections ran deep, extending far beyond being a mere voter. He actively forged friendships with several U.S. presidents. His circle of political associations included Dwight Eisenhower, John Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, and Ronald Reagan. Wayne wasn't just a supporter from a distance. He personally connected with these influential figures. Wayne's political engagement was notably evident in his active support for Richard Nixon during the 1960 presidential election, as noted by the Nixon Foundation. Despite Nixon's loss in that election, Wayne remained a good sport. When John F. Kennedy emerged victorious, Wayne sent a telegram expressing, "Congratulations from the loyal opposition." Tragically, Wayne was deeply affected, like many, by Kennedy's assassination 3 years later. Wayne's political sentiments were fair and demonstrated a commitment to the democratic process. Following Barry Goldwater's defeat in the 1964 election, Wayne gracefully accepted the outcome. However, his political allegiance resurfaced in 1968, when he once again became a staunch supporter and friend of Richard Nixon during the presidential election. Their friendship endured even during the turbulent times of the Watergate scandal, which ultimately led to Nixon's resignation in 1974. The camaraderie between Wayne and Nixon was reciprocal. Nixon recognized Wayne's ability to resonate with blue-collar voters, appreciating the actor's influence in this demographic. Their enduring friendship weathered the storm of political controversies, reflecting a bond that transcended the ups and downs of the political landscape. Interestingly, the political landscape of the Wayne family took a different turn when Isa Wayne, John Wayne's daughter and founder of John Wayne Enterprises and the John Wayne Cancer Foundation, endorsed Republican nominee Donald Trump in 2016. However, this move was met with a response from Isa's brother, Ethan, who clarified that neither the family nor the foundation endorses candidates in John Wayne's name. This incident underscores the complexity of navigating political endorsements within the context of John Wayne's legacy, illustrating the delicate balance between personal political beliefs and maintaining the apolitical nature of certain legacies. In 1976, John Wayne made his final appearance on the big screen in the film The Shootist, co-starring with Lauren Bacall and Ron Howard. This poignant movie centered around an aging Old West gunman, J.B. Brooks, who was grappling with a terminal cancer diagnosis. In a unique twist, Wayne's character opts to meet his fate through a final gunfight. While some critics found the film stagnant, John Wayne Heritage regards it as one of the actor's greatest performances. The irony was not lost on the audience, as Wayne, having battled cancer himself, portrayed a character confronting the same disease. We Are the Mutants notes that Wayne appeared obviously ailing during the filming of The Shootist, with the fictional Brooks audibly expressing his physical struggles through grunts and groans. However, contrary to public assumption, Wayne did not have cancer during the shooting of the film. According to the Internet Movie Database, he had successfully overcome the illness in 1969 after a bout with stomach cancer. Although Wayne did face another battle with stomach cancer in 1975, it had gone into remission before The Shootist was filmed. Despite his health challenges, Wayne demonstrated remarkable resilience on the set. In addition to overcoming cancer, he dealt with a severe case of the flu that led to hospitalization during production. Contrary to any signs of slowing down, Medium reports that Wayne had another movie in the works titled Beau John. This film was intended as a light comedy set in the 1920s and focused on the patriarch of a Kentucky family. Unfortunately, Wayne's health took a downturn in January 1979 when his stomach cancer returned. Tragically, on June 11th of that year, John Wayne, the iconic figure known for his toughness both on and off the screen, succumbed to the disease. His legacy endures not only through his extensive filmography, but also as a symbol of resilience in the face of personal struggles. In 2019, a 1971 Playboy interview with John Wayne resurfaced, reigniting a debate about the legendary actor's views on race. In the interview, Wayne stated, "I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility." He also expressed the belief that African Americans needed better educational opportunities, and he defended historical actions such as slavery and the displacement of indigenous peoples, framing them as a matter of survival. The resurfacing of these remarks led to a reassessment of Wayne's legacy, particularly regarding whether the name of John Wayne Airport in Orange County, California, should be changed. Mercury News' David Whiting revisited the article, asserting that Wayne, based on his own admission, identified as a white supremacist. The question arose, was Wayne truly claiming to be a white supremacist? Or were his statements poorly worded? In a follow-up article in the Orange County Register, Whiting noted that some readers were supportive of Wayne. One reader argued that the article reflected white self-loathing, while others blamed political correctness for what they saw as an unfair judgment of Wayne, emphasizing that he was a product of his times. Wayne's son, Ethan, offered a perspective on the controversy, stating that judging his father based on a single interview from half a century ago would be an injustice. CNN quoted Ethan Wayne as saying, "It would be an injustice to judge someone based on an interview that's being used out of context. So any discussion of removing his name from the airport should include the full picture of the life of John Wayne and not be based on a single outlier interview from half a century ago." There is one thing that anyone interested in John Wayne wants to know, and that is his relationship with Clint Eastwood. The Western genre witnessed the rise of two cinematic titans, John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, who not only left indelible marks through their iconic roles, but also made significant contributions from the director's chair. However, despite their shared prominence in the genre, Wayne and Eastwood were known to clash due to their dramatically different approaches to filmmaking, particularly when it came to matters of morality. John Wayne, a stalwart figure in classic westerns, adhered to a strict code of morality in his films. He insisted on portraying characters who were morally upright and uncompromised. Wayne refused to shoot scenes that depicted dishonorable acts, such as shooting enemies in the back, cheating, using tricks, or engaging in treason. For Wayne, anything less than a portrayal of virtuous characters was deemed un-American. His commitment to a traditional, morally upright depiction of the Old West set the tone for many of his films. On the other hand, Clint Eastwood, a later generation star in westerns, took a different and more nuanced approach. Eastwood, both as an actor and director, delved into the morally gray aspects of the genre. He explored characters who were troubled, jaded, and often seeking redemption, sometimes without ever truly earning it. His portrayal of the Old West leaned towards a grittier, more realistic depiction, reminiscent of the morally ambiguous narratives seen in contemporary television shows like Game of Thrones. The clash between these two giants of the Western genre came to a head when Eastwood embarked on projects that deviated from Wayne's traditional, morally upright framework. In a notable incident, Wayne wrote a blistering letter to Eastwood, condemning his latest project, High Plains Drifter, arguing that it wasn't remotely about the pioneers who shaped the West. Eastwood defended his approach, asserting that exploring the darker and more complex aspects of the genre was intentional, representing a generational shift in storytelling. The Wayne-Eastwood dynamic symbolized a clash between two eras of Western filmmaking, one rooted in the traditional ideals of heroism and morality, and the other embracing a more complex, morally ambiguous narrative. The adversarial relationship between these two iconic figures in the Western genre reflects the evolving nature of storytelling and filmmaking as it transitioned from the classic era to a more modern and nuanced approach. What do you think about John Wayne's little revealed secrets? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.